Kolam is an ancient artistic ritual practiced even today, mainly by the women of South India. It is a drawing of intricate geometric designs at the threshold of the home, the prayer rooms, and during festive occasions. Kolams spell hospitality and festivity, grace and aesthetics, and reflect the harmony between man and nature in everyday life. Thiruvananthapuram is the capital city of the South Indian state of Kerala. This is the famed Padmanabha Swami temple, after which the city is named, and the nucleus around which this ancient city continues to exist and develop. Incidentally, the Padmanabha Swami temple has been in the limelight as it is considered to be the richest place of worship in the world. In the surroundings of the Padmanabha Swami temple are agraharams, settlements of Tamil-speaking Brahmins, the community of priests and others who have been associated with the temple and its attendant duties. Let's now go to one such agraharam. With the break of dawn, the agraharam stirs to life. For the women of these households, the morning starts with the drawing of the kolam at the entrances of their homes. Being a woman-centric ritualistic art, it highlights the role and strength that a woman has in maintaining the balance and spreading positive energies around her home. A harmonious home is the basic unit in a harmonious world. The daily ritual of kolam begins when the woman prepares the ground before the doorway to her home. She sweeps the entrance with a broomstick and prepares the ground by sprinkling water on the area. Sometimes the kolam is a memorized pattern that she draws, and sometimes she improvises and creates designs that are entirely new. It is an expression of a creative and artistic talent. Traditionally, the powder used to create the kolam is made from finely ground rice. Holding pinches of flour between the thumb and the fingers and letting the powder fall through them, the women create the designs with hand movements that are controlled yet nimble. Rajalakshmi Mahadevan is especially skilled at kolam drawing, and the fact that she can draw precise double lines with a single move is an indication of her expertise. Each type of design has a name and a symbolic meaning. This one is called the Kanya Kolam. The Kanya Kolam is drawn on Tuesdays and Fridays in honor of the goddess or on days when there is some observance. The embellishment with the terracotta makes the kolam a little more special. Let's now go along with Raji to the home of her friends Ramesh and Chitra, and together they will demonstrate for us the different types of kolams and their significance. The pulli kolams are based on a framework of pulleys or dots. The patterns, simple or elaborate, are created by encircling, looping or joining the dots with straight or curved lines. Thus, there are the kambi or line kolams and the chikka or knotted kolams. There are kolams for the different days of the week and for different deities too. The lotus patterned one is for Thursdays and is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. The sun design is for the sun god and is called Aditya Hridayam Kolam. Raji shows us examples of designs dedicated to goddesses.
ഇത് ഐശ്വര്യക്കോലമാണ്. നമ്മൾ പൂജാമുറിയുടെ നടയിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ സാധാ ദിവസം ഏത് വെള്ളിയായാലും ചൊവ്വയായാലും ഏത് ദിവസം വേണമെങ്കിലും മാറി മാറി എടുക്കും. ഇതാണ് ഹൃദയകമലം, ഇത് ഐശ്വര്യക്കോലം. വലത് കയ്യിലിരിക്കുന്നത് ഹൃദയകമലം, ഇടത് കയ്യിലിരിക്കുന്നത് ഐശ്വര്യക്കോലം.
These are generally not drawn outside the house but in front of the prayer rooms. The Hridaya Kamalam is dedicated to goddess Lakshmi and the giver of good fortune. Kolams are also drawn with rice flour ground to a watery paste. They are called Ma Kolams.
കോലം വരയ്ക്കുന്നതാണ്. അരിമാവാണ്, വെറും പച്ചരി വെള്ളത്തിലിട്ട് കുതിർത്ത് അരച്ചെടുക്കുന്നതാണ്.
They are called Ma Kolams. Huge Ma Kolams are created during festive occasions and at weddings too. This is a symbol Ma Kolam drawn at the wedding ceremony. Two designs are drawn side by side and then joined, suggesting the union of the couple in marriage and the harmony of the sacred bond. Ramesh Iyer is a person who understands and respects traditions for the values they hold.
See, this traditionally what is called Rangoli in the north and here Kolam in the south. This is a very traditional work. It is not being taught in any school or somebody. It is a culture which is followed by the Tamil Brahmin community. Generally in Hindus all over Tamil Nadu they do this as a practice in front of the house during morning time as well as evening time. It is followed traditionally, like what the grandma does, the granddaughter does it, and it is getting followed and followed. Each day a different type of artwork is exhibited in front of the house and it has got its own significance. So by looking at it, even an outsider can realize whether there is a wedding in the house or whether some other event is going on in the house. All those things are recognizable by these patterns. And patterns are drawn in very unique fashions and expertise counts because it starts from the very, very, very small childhood as low as 3 years or 4 years until your last day. It has got so many things to convey. And as I said, this is a uniqueness is that if something bad has happened in the house, they don't do this. So by looking at it, if in a house there is no kolam, that means that could be an anniversary day. Maybe one of those forefathers' death day is being celebrated. Or somebody has passed away in that house means for 1 year they don't do this. Social customs, yes, and if you want to talk about the height of this as it is on January the 15th around on Pongal Day, it's I can say a war of kolams. When everybody competes to see whose is the best. So even though there is some sort of wickedness in it, it is fun, See how artwork is getting developed like without the training or anything. So it's a wonderful tradition. Many traditions are forgotten in our community, but luckily this is getting carried. Even little children are very much happy to do it.
Another festive occasion is Sri Krishna Jayanti, the birthday of Lord Krishna. On this day, symbols in the shape of tiny feet are drawn using the rice paste. Starting from the entrance of the house, they lead up to the place of worship where sweets and other offerings are placed. It is assumed that the child Krishna walks into each house and partakes of the offerings. As with most ancient Hindu rituals, the practice of Kolam too serves the body, mind and soul. In the early mornings and evenings, when the kolams are drawn, as one bends forward, the stretch benefits the body, improving flexibility and blood circulation. Besides, it stimulates the mind and brain when the columns are drawn creatively and precisely in accordance with mathematical principles. The agility in this elderly lady could be attributed to the Kolam yoga, so to say.
மேலே ஓடுறதுங்க நான் பார்க்கல எனக்கு அப்படின்னு நான் நிறைய கிடந்த கொண்டு அலம்பி போட்டு அங்கே ஓட்டணும் கோலம் தான் இருக்கீங்க அதே
While columns may be linked to deities and festivities, they are primarily an offering and salutation to Mother Earth. Bringing freshness to each day, it is a repetitive ritual where the patterns made in the morning disappear by the evening or the next day. On a deeper spiritual level, this impermanence is suggestive of the Hindu philosophy of the impermanence of the human body and the transient nature of worldly life. While the kolam serves aesthetic purposes, it is also an act of compassion, consideration, and acceptance towards the smaller living beings around us. For the materials like rice flour used to make these patterns are natural and edible. So, at the end of the day, ants, birds, insects, and rodents make a meal out of these designs. This ritual of compassion and generosity that is eco-friendly in every way is rooted in the Hindu precept that is expounded in the Bhagavad Gita, where it says that a true godly person is one who is ever intent on the welfare of all beings. Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. Kolam reflects this simple philosophy. It is opening our hearts and souls to every being. It is spirituality in practice. Women have been drawing columns over the ages, and it's heartwarming to see the tradition continue as the younger generation watch, imbibe, and participate.
கொஞ்சம் நிறைய எடுத்துக்க இப்படி நிறைய எடுத்துட்டு இது மேலோட இப்படி போட்டு பாரு.
From the entrance of the home, the columns send out messages of welcome and well-being to the outside world. They are at the same time prayers as well as symbols of beauty, prosperity, joy, and peace. A simple and gracious ritual, columns make every day a celebration, bringing order and harmony into daily life and spreading positive energy in and around the home, making it a sacred place. And the woman holds the key to this creation. In many ways, the kolam, for all that it signifies, is truly a symbol of the woman herself.